Since the early years of your life, there were subtle but clear signs that you were different. Perhaps, instead of blending easily with other children, you found yourself drawn to moments of solitude not because you were shy or reserved, but because something within you sought more depth. While others played, you found yourself observing the world around you with a more attentive gaze, noticing details that went unnoticed by others. Do you remember those days when you were simply fascinated by the movement of clouds in the sky, the shadows of trees swaying in the wind, or the soft sound of running water? These moments were not just part of common childhood curiosity, they reflected a greater sensitivity. It was as if you were connected to the rhythm of nature in a different way, feeling the energy of the world on a deeper level. This connection with nature was one of the first signs that you were attuned to something greater, something beyond the immediate perception of others. Perhaps from an early age, you also noticed that you felt emotionally more connected to the people around you. It could have been a friend who was sad or a family member worried about something, and you, without fully understanding, knew that something was wrong. This level of empathy was uncommon among children your age. While others moved on, unconcerned with the feelings of those around them, you felt the weight of other people's emotions as if they were your own. This type of emotional sensitivity was one of the first signs that your soul was connected to a greater mission, one that involved not only your own growth but also the ability to help and heal others. In childhood, many chosen ones remember moments of deep intuition, even if they did not know how to name it at the time. It could have been that feeling that something was about to happen, a change in the environment, or a decision that needed to be made, and you, without knowing exactly why, knew what to do. These moments of clarity came like flashes, and you probably thought everyone experienced the same thing. However, these instincts, this ability to sense what was coming, were clear signs that there was something special about you. Another important sign that many chosen ones report from childhood is the feeling of being protected in risky situations. Perhaps you narrowly escaped imminent dangers like accidents or felt an inexplicable urge to avoid a path that you later found out would have been dangerous. These moments, which could easily be attributed to luck, were actually evidence that you were being protected from an early age. It could have been a day when, for some reason, you decided not to leave the house, only to later hear that something bad happened at the place you were going to. These instincts were not coincidences but manifestations that your life was being carefully guided and protected. Often chosen ones feel disconnected from others, even from childhood. Perhaps you felt like you didn't quite belong to your group of friends, or that your concerns were different from those of other children. While they worried about games and play, you might have found yourself thinking about deeper things, such as the purpose of life or the meaning of certain events. This kind of early reflection is another clear sign that you were already connected to something greater. Perhaps you also remember moments when animals seemed to behave differently around you. Many chosen ones report that, as children, they had a special connection with animals. Perhaps dogs always became calmer by your side, or birds seemed to approach you more than other people. These moments, though small and seemingly insignificant at the time, were signs that there was something in your energy that the beings around you sensed. They felt your presence and knew there was peace and harmony in you that attracted them. As you grew, these signs continued to manifest even more clearly. In adolescence, for example, you may have begun to notice that your intuitions were becoming stronger. Perhaps you knew what someone was thinking or feeling before they even spoke. Or maybe you had a sense that something important was about to happen, even without any concrete evidence. These intuitions, which were more subtle in childhood, were now becoming part of your everyday life. You started to realize that there was a connection between what you felt and what was happening in the world around you. Another clear sign that many chosen ones experience during adolescence is the feeling of not fitting into conventional molds. While your friends were concerned with trivial things such as fashion or social events, you were more interested in discovering deeper truths. Perhaps you were drawn to spiritual, philosophical, or even mystical themes, searching for answers to questions that most people your age never considered. This search for meaning, for something beyond what the material world could offer, was a clear reflection that your soul was on a much deeper and more significant journey. This feeling of not belonging or being out of sync with others is not easy to handle, especially during adolescence. However, this disconnection is actually one of the clearest signs that you are being prepared for something unique. While others followed their routines, you were already searching for something greater. This search, though sometimes lonely, was your soul guiding you toward a path of spiritual awakening. In adolescence, many chosen ones also report a series of strange or unusual experiences, such as vivid dreams or even premonitions. Perhaps you remember dreaming of events that later came true, or having visions of situations before they happened. These dreams and visions were not mere teenage fantasies, they were clear signs that your consciousness was connected to higher dimensions, accessing information that most people could not see. Adolescence may also have brought the realization that the challenges you faced seemed greater or more intense than those of others. Perhaps you felt that emotional struggles, identity crises, or internal conflicts were deeper and more painful than what your friends were facing. These challenges were not punishments but part of a growth process, shaping your soul and preparing it for the greater purpose you carried. This period of emotional turbulence is often part of the refinement process that the chosen ones go through. Although it is a difficult phase, it is also a time when you begin to gain clarity about who you really are and what truly matters to you. The superficial values and concerns that once seemed important begin to lose their weight, giving way to a search for purpose and meaning. As you leave adolescence behind and enter adulthood, the signs that you are chosen continue to unfold. During youth, many of the emotional and spiritual challenges may have seemed insurmountable, but as you mature, you begin to realize that each struggle served to shape you in a unique way. You start to connect the dots between your past experiences and the intuition that has always guided you, and everything begins to make more sense. One of the first signs that many chosen ones notice in adulthood is the clarity that emerges after moments of great turbulence. It may be that you went through a personal crisis, be it a breakup, the loss of a loved one, or even a significant professional failure, and in the midst of the pain, something began to emerge within you. This crisis was not just an obstacle on your path, but an opportunity to awaken to a new reality. When the ground seemed to have been pulled out from under your feet, it was at that moment that you realized the strength you carried inside, a strength you perhaps didn't know existed before. Many chosen ones, when facing these crises in adulthood, feel a deep calling towards something higher. After experiencing this phase of great pain or confusion, you may begin to question the meaning of life and your role in the world even more deeply. The questions that arose in childhood and intensified during adolescence now become urgent. What once seemed like a search for superficial answers now transforms into a genuine spiritual journey, and you realize that you are no longer looking for answers outside yourself. The true wisdom lies within. This awakening in adulthood is often accompanied by a series of coincidences or synchronicities that become impossible to ignore. Perhaps you started noticing repeated patterns around you, such as certain numbers that frequently appear, unexpected encounters with people who seem to guide you to the next step, or events aligning almost magically. These synchronicities are clear signs that you are on the right path, and that the universe is conspiring to take you exactly where you need to be. Another sign that many chosen ones experience in adulthood is a growing sense of disconnection from society's expectations. Over the years, you may have followed the conventional path, achieving a career, building relationships, and seeking material accomplishments, but at some point, something within you began to change. What once seemed important starts to lose its shine, and a sense of dissatisfaction arises. It's not about ingratitude or failing to value your achievements, but about realizing that they are not enough to satisfy your soul. This disconnection from worldly values is a clear sign that you are being called to something greater, something that cannot be found in material things. At this stage, many chosen ones begin to turn inward, seeking deeper answers. You may feel an increasing desire to meditate, reflect, or spend time in solitude, away from the noise and distractions of the world. This impulse is not an escape, but a call to reconnect with your essence. The more you listen to this inner voice, the more you realize it is guiding you toward a purpose that goes beyond appearances. It's as if you are being quietly prepared for something still to come. These moments of introspection are often accompanied by a strengthening of your intuition. You may find that, during adulthood, you trust more in that inner voice that has always guided you. Perhaps you made important decisions based on gut feelings, ignoring the logical advice of those around you only to discover that those decisions turned out to be the most correct. This strengthening of intuition is one of the clearest signs that you are aligning with your true purpose. Another significant sign that becomes clearer in adulthood is the attraction to people and experiences that align with your spiritual journey. As you move away from relationships or situations that no longer serve you, you begin to notice that new people enter your life almost as if sent by an invisible force. These people offer new perspectives, illuminate the path ahead, and provide support in ways you didn't expect. These spontaneous connections are a sign that you are being guided and supported by forces beyond what we can see. During this period, you may also experience vivid dreams or an increase in synchronicities. Perhaps you've noticed that certain spiritual themes appear more frequently in conversations, books, or even on social media, as if the universe is trying to send you a message. These moments are reminders that you are on the right path and that, even in moments of doubt, a greater force is guiding you. Many chosen ones begin to feel an unshakable need to help others during adulthood. This desire to serve does not stem from ego, but from the recognition that you have been given gifts and abilities that can make a difference in people's lives. You may feel drawn to careers or projects involving healing, spiritual guidance, teaching, or any other form of service. This need to help others reflects your growing understanding of the purpose for which you were chosen. It's important to note that, although many chosen ones face challenges throughout life, these challenges are never in vain. Every obstacle, every moment of pain or doubt serves to strengthen and prepare you for what is to come. Often it may seem that the weight of responsibility is too great, but remember that you are never alone on this journey. Even in the most difficult moments, there is an invisible force supporting, guiding, and protecting you. As you reach this stage of adulthood, you begin to realize that your journey is not just about personal growth and spiritual awakening, it is also about impacting the world around you. Whether through small acts of kindness, words of wisdom, or acts of service, you are here to make a difference. As you move forward, you begin to see the impact of your actions on the lives of those around you. Another concrete sign that arises in adulthood is the feeling that your presence makes a difference in the environments you enter. Perhaps you've noticed that, upon entering a room, the energy changes. People seem to feel calmer, more heard, or even inspired just by being around you. This is your inner light radiating, even if you're not fully aware of it. Your presence and way of being are part of what makes you a chosen one. You don't need grand gestures or declarations, just being yourself transforms your surroundings and influences the people in your life. As you continue along this journey, you begin to understand that the signs that emerged in childhood and adolescence were preparing you for this moment. Every dream, intuition, and feeling of protection in moments of danger was guiding you so that, in adulthood, you could fully embrace your purpose. Now, as you look back, you can see the bigger picture, the plan that was in action from the very beginning. The obstacles you have faced, whether emotional, professional, or spiritual, have not been there to break you, but to shape you. You realize that the more challenging the situation, the greater the opportunity for growth. After each crisis, you emerge with more clarity, strength, and wisdom. People around you may admire how you managed to overcome situations that could have devastated others, unaware of the internal process of resilience and self-reflection you went through. Time, for chosen ones, seems to work in mysterious ways. There may have been moments when everything seemed to fall apart, but somehow, at the last minute, a new opportunity appeared, or an unexpected path opened up. This is not mere luck, but a reflection of divine guidance, evidence that the universe is organizing events in your life for your highest good and spiritual growth. Many chosen ones report that throughout adulthood, they began to notice clear signs of divine protection in times of great need. It could have been an experience where you were about to make a decision that would have had disastrous consequences, but for some reason something stopped you. Or perhaps it was an accident avoided by a fraction of a second. These moments, which could easily be attributed to chance, are actually concrete signs that you are being guided and protected by invisible forces. Additionally, there is the matter of intuition, which becomes almost impossible to ignore over the years. You may have noticed that your intuitive perceptions have grown stronger and clearer. Perhaps you began trusting these intuitions to make important decisions, even when those choices went against the advice of others or defied logic, and surprisingly, those decisions turned out to be correct. This is one of the greatest gifts of the chosen ones, the ability to sense the right path, even when everything around them feels uncertain. This intuition is not a mental trick. It results from a deep connection with something greater, a wisdom that transcends common reasoning. Another clear sign that you were chosen is your ability to transform the environment around you, often without even realizing it. You have the power to change the energy of a place simply with your presence. For instance, you might enter a space filled with tension or anxiety, and the people around you suddenly begin to feel calmer and more centered, without you needing to say a word. This reflects the light you carry inside. Your energy, even in silence, has the power to influence others in subtle but profound ways. In addition, many chosen ones report that over time, their choices begin to have a deeper impact on the people around them. Throughout adulthood, you may have noticed that people come to you for guidance, advice, or simply to hear your encouraging words. You might realize that your words carry more weight than you imagined, as if they are infused with wisdom that extends beyond your own life experience. This is one of the clearest indicators of a chosen one, the ability to touch people's lives in ways you may not even be fully aware of. Many chosen ones also experience a sense of being called to serve in a greater way. This can manifest as a deep desire to help others, whether through specific work, volunteering, or simply being present for those in need. This desire to serve is not motivated by vanity or a need for recognition, but by an inner sense of mission. The more you align with this desire, the more doors will open for you to fulfill this calling. As you progress, the journey of a chosen one is often marked by an increase in spiritual sensitivity. You may notice that your connection to the spiritual realm has grown stronger. This sensitivity can manifest in various ways: sharper intuition, vivid dreams that carry clear messages, or more intense spiritual experiences, such as sensing the presence of something divine around you. This sensitivity is not a burden, but a gift that allows you to navigate the world more consciously and with a deeper sense of connection. Often chosen ones are those who face the greatest trials. It may seem unfair, but these challenges serve as preparation for something greater. The heavier the mission, the greater the responsibility, and the difficulties you have faced throughout life have been tools to strengthen you. Think of every loss, every failure, and every moment of doubt not as random hardships, but as events that shaped your soul and prepared you for your mission. Although the weight of these trials may have been heavy, they have also provided you with a depth of character and resilience that is now visible to those around you. As you continue your journey, it is common for chosen ones to feel a sense of isolation, even when surrounded by people. This is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. In fact, this loneliness often reflects the reality that you are walking a unique path. While others may focus on mundane matters, you are engaged in a deeper spiritual journey, which can distance you from common concerns. However, this isolation does not last forever. Over time, you will begin to attract others who are on a similar journey. These people may enter your life in unexpected ways, perhaps as a new friend, a colleague, or someone you meet by chance. These encounters are not coincidences, they are part of a greater plan. The universe always finds ways to bring people into your life who can support you and help you grow. As you move forward on this journey, the signs become increasingly clear. You begin to realize that the experiences that once seemed painful or confusing were actually preparing you for something greater. With each step, you come closer to your true purpose, and the more you align with that purpose, the more you realize you are exactly where you need to be. As you continue to walk this path, you understand that the journey is not about reaching a final destination. Instead, it is about constant growth and evolution.